to study the parasitic adaptations in platyhelminthes. Parasitic adaptations in platyhelminthes. So far we discussed different classes of phylum platyhelminthes. Class 1 Turbularia possess free living and few parasitic forms. Trematoda and Cystoda, these two classes possess parasitic flatworms. So, in case of Trematoda and Cystoda, more parasitic forms are there. Therefore, they have shifted from free living life to parasitic life. So they are living in the body of other organisms, their hosts, in order to adjust to the host environment. They have undergone changes, morphological changes as well as physiological changes. Here we are going to study two types of adaptations: morphological adaptations and physiological adaptations. Morphological, external features, changes in external features is called morphological adaptations. Changes in physiological aspects, they are known as physiological changes. Both morphological as well as physiological changes are required for the parasitic flatworms in order to adjust to host environment. Okay, so let us start with the morphological adaptations seen in flatworms. The shape of the body becomes flattened like leaf or ribbon. Flatworms' body, you know it, they are dorsoventrally flattened, therefore they are called flatworms. Since they are dorsoventrally flattened, they appear like a leaf or a ribbon. The liver fluke looks like leaf, whereas the tapeworm appears like ribbon. Okay, so that they can fit in the spaces where they have their habitat. This type of body shape enables the parasites to fit into the spaces of the host body. Okay, this is an advantage to these flatworms to fit into the spaces of host animal. Cilia have disappeared entirely from the outer surface. Cilia are present in free-living flatworms. Planarians, their epidermis has cilia. But here in parasitic flatworms, cilia are not required, not necessary. They are not present. Cilia have disappeared entirely from the outer surface as they are no longer necessary. Not necessary. Actually, in planarians, cilia are used for locomotion, for movement on stone surface, along with the help of adhesive secretions. Whereas here in parasitic flatworms, cilia are not required. Since they are living inside the body of host animal, they are not necessary to move from place to place. They are being transported from the host themselves. Okay, therefore presence of cilia is not necessary. There are no epidermal cells in parasitic flatworms. In adult, instead of which the body is covered by a several layered thick cuticle. This is very important. Cuticle is present. The entire body on their surface is covered by thick cuticle, whether it is liver fluke or planaria, not planaria, tapeworm. Since they are living inside the host body, they have to be protected by themselves from the host secretions. For that matter, for that sake, their body is covered by thick cuticle, which protects the parasite from the juices of the host. You know, in our stomach, different juices are secreted. Gastric juice is there, intestinal juice is there, bile secretion is there, pancreatic secretion is there. All these secretions, what they do, they try to kill the foreign bodies, whatever they come along the ingesting food. Okay? See, the enzymes, these juices have enzymes, proteolytic enzymes, carbohydrates are there, then lipolytic enzymes are there. These what they do, they digest all these nutrients that are present in parasites. Thus, the parasites are killed. Gastric juice has HCl, highly concentrated HCl. So, from the action of these secretions, the parasite has to be protected. For that sake, they have been externally covered by thick cuticle. Next, organs of attachment such as suckers and hooks are formed by which the parasite is not dislodged from the host. The host has to be lodged inside the host body. The parasite has to be lodged or accommodated inside the host body. In order to attach to the wall of host body, they are having hooks and suckers. In case of liver fluke, suckers are there. Whereas in case of tapeworm, both hooks as well as suckers are present. So these are being used to have sufficient grip with that of the host body. Okay? So these additional structures they have developed in order to live comfortably inside the host body. So suckers and hooks are present so that they are not dislodged, they are not eliminated out of the host body. There are no organs of locomotion, not necessary. Since they are living inside the host body, they need not to be transported by themselves. They are being transported by the host body. Therefore, they are not having any locomotory structures. Since they are not needed, the host transporting the parasites. The host transport parasites. Hosts are taking part in transporting parasites. We already discussed the life cycle of tapeworm. Life cycle of tapeworm is completed in two hosts, man and pig. Man transports this parasite from place to place through the fecal matter of the human being. It gets into the body of pig. Pig are also moving from place to place. Thus, parasites are not moving. Not necessary to move. Hosts themselves carry these parasites from place to place. This is how some morphological changes or modifications have been developed in parasitic flatworms.